Good morning, I'm Adam Sexton. It could be an historic race for mayor this year in Manchester, with potentially two women facing off for the corner office at City Hall. Joining us this morning is Republican candidate for mayor Victoria Sullivan. Join us.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So I look back, I think the first time I ever interviewed you was actually in 2013. You were a concerned mom coming to a community forum about crime with your son who had had a birthday present stolen off the back porch.
That's right.
Tell us about this. You've evolved from concerned citizen through the State House and now running for mayor. Why are you running?
Because I'm a concerned citizen. That's really how I got into politics to begin with. I mean, I remember that, now that you said my little Seamus was having a birthday party. He was turning 7 and we'd ordered some things for the kids, the cowboy hats, I think, and it was stolen. And we went just to listen to that session, and we were addressing crime in the city, and they asked if anybody had questions. I saw them point in my direction and say, okay, you. And I looked, and he was standing up, ready to speak. So I'm like, okay, now I'm in it. Now I have to stand beside him. And that was really how I got into everything in the city. It was just, it really concerned my family. And we wanted to be part of the solution. So that's why how I became PTA president. And I started to see things going on in the schools that I didn't necessarily think were putting us in the right direction for education. So I ran for state office. I was able to get some good legislation passed that actually helped the kids and the families in the state. And I actually wasn't planning on running for mayor, but things started to take a turn in our city that was affecting our families again, and it was affecting our quality of life. People started to reach out to me and ask me if I would consider challenging our current mayor. And it was really after Dr. Vargas, our superintendent of schools, stepped down, where people started to really encouraged me to run. In the days following his resignation, my phone just didn't stop ringing, and my inbox didn't stop getting filled with people asking me. So I started to have conversations with people in our city, and business owners and concerned parents and people that just want to help save their city. And that's really what I see this as us stepping forward as a community to save our city.
Specifically, we'll get to education in a second, but on crime and homelessness, how would you do things differently from Mayor Craig?
So I sort of call this my listening tour. I've been reaching out to people who've been trying to be heard and aren't being listened to. And through these conversations, it was said to me from more than one person that we had organizations that were helping the homeless. They had relationships with them. They would provide shelter, shoes, jackets, tents, and food. They actually had a service where they could package food that wouldn't spoil, so they could have it with them and then prepare it as they needed it. When the mayor had the highway department go in and destroy all of these camps, all of their belongings were gone. They had no choice but to move into the city where they had services. So I would re-empower these organizations that were doing such a good job taking care of our homeless and work with them. We have all these little tiny groups around and individuals around the city that are doing really good work. I think we need to harness our energy, bring it all together, start having conversations, and work together towards solutions on these things.
Does Manchester need more police officers?
We're actually, I think, 10 police officers down right now compared to where we should be at. They're just having a hard time finding officers to serve here. I would like to see more of a peace officer presence. You know, people walking the street like they used to do with the, you know, in the old days, you'd see the beat cop walking down the street and forming these relationships with people that are down there. I think that makes everybody feel like they're more secure in where they're at. We love to go to the park and see the mounted police and know that they're there and talk to the officers. I like to have my kids go up and thank them for their service and just be a part of the community with us. I think that's really the direction that we need to go to.
And this has been an issue. Do you believe that business owners should have more control over their storefront, the sidewalks in front of it?
So that's really confusing to me because they do certain months out of the year. So why couldn't they for the entire year? Right, so I think it's April 15th, beginning Monday, until October something. They actually have that. It's in the ordinance that they have complete control. That's why they have the patio furniture out there. They sort of extend their business to the sidewalk. I don't know why they can't do that all year round. I know that Alderman Baines did try to get that passed. He's been working really hard with the business owners. We actually sat down, had a great conversation. But again, they brought these solutions to City Hall, and they're not being heard, and they're not being helped.
You were this unique presence at the State House because no one could fight harder than you on the partisan side, but you also got things passed in a bipartisan fashion. Yeah. So who do the voters of Manchester get if they elect Victoria Sullivan? Is it the partisan fighter, or is it the bipartisan person who gets legislation passed?
It's all me. It's all one person. So even though people might see those see me as a partisan fighter, I believe in certain things that my party stands for, right? So it's not that I'm a Republican and I fight for Republican issues. I believe in certain things that happen to align with the Republican platform, if that makes sense to you. So I am fighting for families. I am fighting against higher taxes. You know, I was one of those people at the State House that fought really hard for a responsible budget. I was sort of fighting against my own party at that time because I thought that we could do better for the taxpayers. So I have fought on both sides. And at the end of the day, you know, I think it's a different climate up there right now. It's a little more divisive. But at the end of the day, we would leave after fighting, you know, to the death for what we believed in on both sides, and go across the street and have a beer together or hang out and talk about our families. So fighting for policy isn't the same as fighting against individuals. So I still have those relationships. I have great relationships with some of the Democrats. Barbara Shaw is one of my favorite people. So I don't think that it's one or the other. I will fight for what I believe in, and I don't think it's a party line thing.
On the partisanship front, one more question there. Democrats already have the knives out on social media, seemingly, and they're saying, oh, we've got all these tweets from her. Is there anything you've tweeted or retweeted that you regret?
Not that I regret, because I probably stood by it at the time, right? When I first became noticed by the Democrats, they came at me in a way that I wasn't prepared for. And I'm a fighter, so I started to fight back really hard. So I don't know. I don't know what's out there that they think that they have. I have never been mean-spirited, I don't think, so I don't know what they think that they have. But I think that if they're concentrating on tweets from 3 years ago, they really don't have anything of substance to bring to this contest. I think that's where they're going, because everything has been personal attacks. They can't come at me on policy because they're not apparently prepared for this fight for the city.
Back to policy. On education, you've been a strong supporter of school choice. How would you incorporate that as the leader, essentially, of the city and city schools?
So John Evard has been fighting for school choice within our city for a really long time. And school choice isn't just, you know, public school kids going to a private school. It's the choice of parents to make these decisions for their children, regardless. So if you have a child that you don't think is doing well at their elementary school, if you want to provide transportation, there isn't a reason that they can't go to a school that you think might suit them better, right? So that's a conversation John Evard has had for a long time that I fully support. And I think once we put the kids first, kids should be a part of every single conversation that we have. That should begin and end with what's best for the children. And if we start doing that, I think people will be more open-minded about school choice. I don't understand the walls that are put up about it, really, because it should always be about the children.
Big Second Amendment fan, not just fan, advocate. Should Manchester teachers be allowed to carry guns in the classroom?
I think that any citizen that wants to get training and feels comfortable carrying should be able to protect their own person. That's how I feel about that.
Yeah. Victoria Sullivan, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you out there on the Manchester campaign trail.
So good to see you.
We appreciate it.